Good day traders, welcome to the final RMDTRADER weekly market fix video of 2021. At this point I believe most of us are already in the holiday spirit and hopefully getting some needed rest before the start of a new year. I will keep this week's video brief and provide some insight into some final potential trade setups for the last week of this year. So to start, I'd like to have a look at 3 of the trade setups that we put out last week. The first was a short setup on the NASDAQ, and that was based on this head and shoulders pattern that we previously identified. And then we had this recovery, and we mentioned that as long as we do not take out this right shoulder, we should see a continuation of this downtrend towards the target area that we've identified at 15,250. That is very close to where we have our monthly S2 pivot as well as our diagonal support. And you can see that on Thursday we came very close to taking out our stop loss, but we have not been stopped out as we did respect the boundary of that right shoulder. Currently trading in our profit zone, and we are looking for that continuation for this week. We also had 2 more setups. There was one on the GBP/JPY, which was a short setup. Unfortunately, this one would have been stopped out, and as you can see, we had our stop placed at 151.7, and we can see we had this big candle that went to test the daily 100 and 200 SMAs, also the monthly pivot, which does actually make quite a bit of sense. But of course we always wanted to manage our risk, so that trade would have been stopped out, but this is still a valid trade setup. And just looking at this price action, I believe there would be a great risk to reward opportunity once again to get short on this setup, with the targets remaining the same and the stop loss also remaining the same, currently at 151.7. so this would be of course another setup for the week ahead. And then we had a short setup also on the a long setup on the Euro GBP. This one also unfortunately stopped out on Thursday. I would not be as confident, unfortunately, as with our GBP/JPY trade to say get back into this trade as yet. But perhaps if we can get a close above last week's, this was rather say a close above about 0.852, that could be a trigger to get long. So I still think we do have a bullish trend emerging, but we do need some more price action confirmation to get long in this trade setup. So like I said, if you can get a good break higher above this area of about 0.852853, that could trigger the long setup that we've identified. Then just having a brief look at EURUSD. EURUSD has broken below diagonal support on Friday, and this should see a continuation of this downtrend towards support from the yearly S1 pivot at 1.112, with the GBPUSD giving a very similar setup with some rejection from that 21 daily EMA, and a close below this diagonal will send price likely towards that target at 1.288. I'll put out more specific levels in terms of stop losses sometime during the day, maybe tomorrow. But yeah, definitely another one to keep an eye out for. Just looking at some of the other trade setups, GBPNZD, we have identified a possible short setup, but I think it's good to wait for some additional price confirmation with a close at least below that daily 21 EMA and daily 100 SMAs. So that's sitting at that 1.944 level before actually looking for a trade short. The AUDUSD could be presenting a good short opportunity. It went and entered into our entry zone. This is the blue area, and has shown some nice rejection. So this could be a good opportunity to get short and heading for that target at 0.694. GBPCAD, very similar to what we see on the GBP/JPY, except this one obviously showing us a very much inverted picture of what we saw in GBP/JPY. Possible range extension with a possible breakout to the upside, should we being able to take out, I'd say, the highs at about 1.710. but nothing certain at this point, and I'd rather wait for confirmation before I take any position on this specific instrument. Let's have a look at gold. Gold has seen a very nice bullish candle on Thursday, a bit more indecision and rejection from the monthly pivot on Friday. So perhaps this could still be a good opportunity to get long. As we've mentioned, we have this entry area in the blue zone, and we are targeting this area up at the monthly R1, which is 1,850. And the stop area remains at 1,760. So unfortunately, of course, for those who have entered into the gold trade, this one has reached a stop level. And of course, this is okay, as we still need to manage our risk. But at this stage, this reversal is appearing to be bullish, of course, pending another break above the monthly pivot. Let's conclude by having a look at cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies has actually played out excuse me, very close to what we've expected, with this continuation of the trend into this area of major support from our yearly R2. So I just want to get that. Where is my text? But yeah, so this level that we have over here at 46,000 is our yearly R2 pivot. That's also the convergence area where we have our daily 200 and daily 365 day SMAs converging. So there's a very good chance to see some support on this level. I think in terms of resistance, we have this level over here at 50,200, where we have our daily 200, a daily 21 EMA. So that might act as some resistance, and if price can get a deeper pullback, we'll have this area at 54,800 to, I'd say, 55,000, just to make it a round level. So about 55,000 would have also be an area of strong resistance should price move into this area, and I expect a higher probability of more downside following such event. And perhaps just concluding, looking at one of the other currencies, XRP, for example. XRP has also seen price now consolidating on this area of support at 0.82, and of course pending a breakout either to the upside or the downside. Downside, of course, seeing us probably heading back to this area of the yearly R1 at 62, whereas a break higher could see a test of resistance somewhere in this area of about $1, where we have our daily 100 and daily 50 SMAs coming to meet our daily 200 SMA. That concludes our market fix, and for our final pro trading tip of the year, we wish to remind you to never look back or dwell on mistakes except to learn from them. Until next year, we wish all of you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Trading Year.